All right, today I'm going to be discussing another part of the employment document package. It's the cover letter. In the previous videos, I discussed the different sections included in a resume. Although the resume is always a work in progress, you should always keep in mind that you're going to have to return to that resume every so often just to refresh it, to update it, and to edit it. Uh, since we've already had several videos discussing the resume, it's now time to move on to that next step in preparing what we call the employment document package, which is the cover letter. Now, the cover letter is another opportunity to state what your goals are, explain why you want a particular job, and to indicate the reasons you feel you are qualified for the job or the opportunity you're trying to go after. It might sound like a resume to you, but the cover letter is actually a unique way that gives you a chance to add some more evidence of your skills. For example, a resume may just state that while you were working at a clothing store, you managed the shoe department employees. A cover letter, on the other hand, can get into more detail of the position. Your cover letter also gives you more of a chance to professionally show off your personality. It's important to realize that hiring managers may just be doing a quick scan as they look through hundreds of cover letters. So, with that being said, you want your cover letter to stand out for the right reasons. In this video, I want to help ensure that you know what hiring managers are looking for and what they expect in a cover letter. You want to know what to put in or what to include or and what to leave out. So that's what I want to do in this video. Just basically give you that information. So again, hiring managers who will be looking at your cover letter know what they like exactly. They have an ideal of what they have seen in the past. They've seen some good cover letters, some bad cover letters, and some really ugly cover letters. With that being said, they may quickly scan through tens or hundreds of cover letters before deciding which ones they want to actually dive into a little more deeply. Before sending your cover letter and your resume to a hiring manager, you should try to find out exactly who's going to be reading those documents so you can actually use their name in the greeting of the cover letter and their address. So when you're addressing your cover letter, one way to find out the actual name of the hiring manager or the person that's going to be reading it is by doing a standard internet search for hiring manager, human resources, followed by the name of a particular company. That can help you decide who to address that cover letter to. For instance, if you're applying for a job at a place called Memorial Hospital, you might want to do internet search for hiring manager Memorial Hospital, or you can use human resources Memorial Hospital. Another way to find out the actual name of a person that you can use on your cover letter is by calling the company and speaking with maybe an administrative assistant or someone else who works at that company that knows the hiring manager's name. Once you have that name, that's who you should address your cover letter to. If you can't find out who's doing the hiring, you should address your cover letter to the highest ranking person whose name you can find. If you can't find any individual names, you can instead start your letter with "Dear hiring manager" for whatever that specific department you're trying to work for. You should always avoid the generic "Dear hiring manager" greeting because that's just too plain. You want to make it specific to that department that you're trying to get that job or that position or that opportunity from. So, for example, if you're applying for a job again in the Memorial Hospital, in the billing department and you can't find a specific name to address your letter to, you might begin with Dear Hiring Manager for Memorial Hospital Billing Department, or Dear Human Resource Human Resources for Memorial Hospital Billing Department. So you definitely don't want to use that generic Dear Hiring Manager greeting, because that's a quick way to get your cover letter tossed to the side. So after you get your greeting and you find out who to send the cover letter and the resume to, for the cover letter, with the opening sentence of that cover letter, it does not have to restate what job you're applying for. The job you are applying for can be listed towards the top of the document, but it doesn't have to say it in that opening sentence. Instead, you want to use the opening sentence as a chance to hook the reader of that cover letter and make them want to read on. To hook the reader, you can focus on the company, or you can focus on how you're going to benefit that company, or list an accomplishment that may wow them. Either way, you need to avoid just repeating what is on your resume. From there, you should state what you have done in your career. And if you don't have a career yet and you're just graduating out of school, you want to you want to state things that you've done educationally wise thus far, and explain how those past experiences and skills will transfer and allow you to become a successful person working for that company. The information you include in the cover letter is very important, but so is the formatting of that document. A few tips to help you format the cover letter. You want to make sure that the cover letter, it has your opening greeting, a hook to get the reader's attention, a paragraph describing why you are the right candidate for the job while showing some enthusiasm, detail on what your job relevant skills are, and then a closing. The formatting of your document, again, it's very important. Towards the top of the document, you should include pieces of information, each on its own line, left justified. So we're going to check out this example right here. So again, towards the top, you want to have the hiring manager's name, the hiring manager's position, the name of the company, the address of the company, the title of the job you are applying for. Next comes your specific greeting. So for here, it says, Dear, and then it has the person's name. This leads into the meat of the cover letter, which is divided into, it could be 3 to 4 smaller paragraphs. As noted, the meat includes your hook, a description of your skills, and why you are the right candidate for the job, and a closing. Finally, you close it with sincerely, um, much appreciated, or something to close it. So, as with your resume, your cover letter should state why you are a qualified person for that job or that opportunity, and explain what makes you a better choice than anybody else that's applying for that opportunity. While doing this, don't be afraid to don't be afraid to give quick examples that prove your skills and worthiness as an applicant. Remember, don't just repeat your resume. You can expand on the information from your resume just to paint a clearer picture of what you are capable of doing. So an example of just like giving a clearer picture of what you're capable of doing, instead of saying something like, I created a new software program, you can expand in your cover letter and say, maybe I was the first associate to create a new software program to allow uh, people to tap into and explore vast databases of educational and career opportunities. Students use the information they found to understand the possibilities available to them after they graduated from high school. So instead of just saying you created a new software program, you said that you were the first person to do it, and then you expound upon it by saying who used the software as well as how it helped them out. So you just didn't give them a generic, okay, I did this, something that you're going to put on your resume. You actually gave them a little bit more of an example of what you did. So I'm repeating the same thing again, I know, but you need to understand that your cover letter allows you to show your personality and expand on what's important to you. Overall, you want to make sure your tone is professional, but you don't want it to sound too desperate. You also want to be thankful and be genuine when you put everything into your cover letter.